All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be talking about translations. A translation is a transformation that we're going to use to slide each point of a figure in the same direction and in the same distance. So no matter what we do or what the shape that we have on that graph, it's all going to move the same direction in the same distance. Now, when we move this figure, it says that the resulting figure after a transformation, that is going to be called your image of the original figure. The starting figure is going to be called your pre-image. So most of the time when we get that pre-image, it's going to be either given to us as points or they'll already have it graphed for us. What we're going to do is take that pre-image and we're going to slide it on the coordinate plane, and that's going to give us our image. Now, when it comes to moving this figure on the coordinate plane, it's going to tell us either we're going to have to go to the right, left, up, or down. And if we're looking at the x coordinate, whenever we have to move to the right, we have to remember that we're going to be adding, okay? And if we have to move to the left, we're going to be subtracting. All right, that's for the x coordinate. For the y coordinate, if it tells us to go up at any point, that means we're going to be adding, and if it tells us to go down at any point, we're going to be subtracting. So this is just to be few things that are important about translations. So now let's look at example 1 to actually see how it's done. So it says triangle ABC is translated 1 unit to the right and 4 units up. It says draw the image of triangle A prime, B prime, and C prime. Okay, so if you look at the graph, it already graphed it for us. But they told us how to translate it. They told us to go 1 unit to the right. So we already just looked at our chart. If we have to go to the right, that means we're going to take our x coordinate and we're going to increase, which means add 1 unit to it. Okay? And it says we're going to go 4 units up. So we looked at up, we said up was also add. So we're going to take the y coordinate and we're going to increase that by 4 units. Okay? Now there's 2 ways we can always do this. We can use the rule or we can use the graph. Now, not all the time will we have a graph, but you do have graph paper that you can use. But let's look at this point. If I look at point A, which started out at 1, -3. So I go to my graph to point A, and it says that I have to go 1 unit to the right and then 4 units up. Once I do that, that's going to give me my new, which is A prime, which is going to be at +2, 1. Then let's look at B. B is here. It says we go to the right 1 time and then 4 units up. And we put our dot. That's going to be B prime. Remember, translation moves all points the same distance in the same direction. So let's get that order pair, which is going to be at 4, 4. And then the last point we got to move, it says we go to the right 1 time and then up 4. And that's going to give us our third point, which is going to be C prime. Once we get all those, we connect them to make sure we still have our triangle. And that's how we finish or complete a translation after we get that order pair, which is at 5, 2. Okay, so that's example 1. Based off what it asked us to translate it 1 unit to the right, 4 units up. So we had to move all points the same distance in the same direction, which was 1 unit to the right, 4 units up. All right, so now let's look at example 2. Example 2 says triangle JKL has a coordinate J, which is at 0, 2, K, which is at 3, 4, and L, which is at 5, 1. So the first thing they want us to do is take all 3 of those points and we're going to graph them. Okay, so we got 0, 2. So 0 means we don't go anywhere, but we have to go up 2, so we go here. That's going to be J. Then we graph K, which is at 3, 4. We're going to connect those. And then we got a graph L, which is at 5, 1. And we connect those, making our triangle. Now, once we graph that, it says that we're going to draw the image of triangle J prime, K prime, and L prime after a translation of 4 units to the left, and then we're going to go 5 units up. And then we're going to label our triangle. Okay, so it says 4 units to the left. So from my chart, it says that when we go left, we got to subtract. And that's going to be our x coordinate. So we're going to take our x coordinate and we're going to subtract 4 from it. And then it says 5 units up. Up is going to be positive, and that's going to be our y coordinate. So we're going to do y plus 5. Okay, so now once we graph that, we got it graphed, we know what our rule is. Let's apply the rule. Remember, this rule has to apply to all 3 points. So if I take J said we got to go 4 to the left and then 5 up. So go 4 left, 5 up. This is going to be my new J prime. The next one, same concept, 4 left, 5 up. That's K prime. And my last point is going to be 4 left, 5 up. Put that point there. And that's going to be L prime. We connect our points and get our new order pairs. So J started at 0, 2. After we translated 5 units, well, 4 units to the left and 5 units up, we ended up at being at 4, 7, negative 4, 7. K prime started at 3, 4, and now is at negative 1, 9. And then L started at 5, 1, and now L is going to be at 1, 6. So that's how we continue to translate images on a coordinate plane based off the direction that they tell us to go, whether we go left or right, or we can go up or down. And it tells us how far we have to go. All right, so let's move to example 3. All right, looking at example 3, it says that triangle JKL has a vertices of 0, 5, 6, 0, and negative 4, 6. It says triangle JKL will be translated 5 units to the left and 6 units down. What will be the coordinates of L prime? So let's graph. We're going to graph the points they gave us. 0, 5, so we don't go left or right, but we go up to 5 and put a dot. That's going to be J. Then we go the 6, 0, so we go over 6 but don't go up or down. This is K. Let's connect those two. And then the last one is going to be L. L is at negative 4, negative 6. That's going to be L. Now, after we connect the triangle that we have, in this one, they're not asking for all of them. They only specifically ask for what will be the coordinate of L prime. So we only have to focus on one point at this time, which is L. We don't have to move all of them. So if we take and do exactly what they asked us to do with this translation, they told us for 5 units left. So we know left deals with our x-axis. So we're going to do x, and left means subtract, x minus 5. And then for our y value, it told us to go 6 down. Down means negative or subtract, so we're going to go 6 down. Okay? Now, if you look at your graph, sometimes you don't have enough space to figure out how to graph it. If you don't have enough space to graph it, let's use the rule. So if we use the rule based off the order pair that they gave us for L, we're going to take negative 4 and subtract 5 from it. And then we're going to take negative 6 and subtract 6 from it. So whenever the signs are the same, we add and keep the sign. So negative 4 minus 5 is going to give me negative 9. Negative 6 minus 6 is going to give me negative 12. So my answer for this one is C. Alright, we got one more example. So now let's look at our last example, which is example 4. Now, the first 3 examples, we had to move it. They told us how to move it. But in this last example, they want us to give them the general rule that describes this translation as shown in the image. Okay? So basically what they're saying is they want to know how far that they had to move it from one point to the next point. Okay? So if we look at this image here, we started out at this M. Then it was moved to this M. Okay? So what did we have to do to go from the original M to the new M is what we have to find out. So what we're going to do, we're going to connect these following the lines of the coordinate plane. So we had to go up 2 times. So we can write up 2. And then we had to go over to our right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So we went to the right 6. So that means that was an increase. So we'll go right 6. Okay. So up 2, right 6. So if we had to write that as a notation of the rule, that's going to tell us that we have x plus 6 because we went to the right, and then we got y plus 2. And that'll give us our answer. Alright, so what we just did, we completed our notes for how to translate an image on a coordinate plane.